Well, hi, sorry to scare you there. If you're wondering why I haven't made a review video of that Screaming Eagle monoshock that I installed a few months ago, well, this is why. Long story short, I high-sided my motorcycle in the rain on Veterans Day. I do have some footage of that crash and I will be showing it here today. What I'm doing right now is I'm just doing a walk-around assessment of the damages to the bike for both you and insurance. As you can hear right now, the bike does still run, and for the most part, damage isn't all that bad. The bike had a full crash cage on it from parts from DK Customs and bunking, so I was able to ride the bike home. I also was very lucky in that I received basically no injuries. I walked away from this crash with just a bloody lip. And I do want to reiterate here, I was very lucky. The crash occurred at almost 50 miles an hour, which means I hit the ground maybe going 45, and my jacket is barely damaged. The location and the fact that people were already slowing down made it so that I didn't get hit and the bike didn't get hit, and there was enough space for the bike to not contact anything. If I was going to fuck up, that was a pretty good place to do it. Most of the damage is cosmetic, like my heated grips were damaged to the point of inoperability. The levers are both damaged, the mirrors were crushed, the handlebars, the left side was damaged. The biggest damage that was worrisome was actually the damage to the tank paint right here. For those who don't know already, my bike has a limited paint set on it called Resurgence paint, which only 150 were offered in the world. So this kind of damage is pretty worrisome. I'm not sure how these little dings got on the back of the fender here, but they do go all the way to the primer. Taking a look at the primary side here, you can really see how well a lot of the stuff was protected. There's no leaks going on. There's not even a scratch on the primary. This crash cage really saved the bike. You're going to see me dick around with this for a little bit. This is me recording that the bike does not start in gear anymore. And the reason why it doesn't start in gear anymore is because the left side bar, as the bike impacted the ground, it bent hard enough to send that module into the tank, and the actual lever mount clamp, I don't remember what it's called, was bent away far enough that it can no longer press that clutch switch in there, therefore the bike won't start in gear. So as you can see, for the most part, everything looks pretty much okay and easily replaceable. Not a big deal. Except, of course, for the paint. It's going to be a real pain in the ass to find someone who can fix the paint, but luckily I was able to actually find someone. Thank goodness. You'll see a clip of that near the end, and spoiler, it was really expensive to get fixed. Thankfully, it was on the insurance's dime, not mine. Just a view from the top here so you can see how that bar was bent, the bunking crash bar in the front. The video doesn't do a good job of showing that though. There is one particular piece of damage to the bike that did worry me, and it's right here. That bunking bar slid when the bike hit the ground and actually contacted the frame, left about a marble-sized ding right there. This created a lot of worry that they were going to total the bike, but because of the value of it at the time, they decided not to. Alright, now let's go over the reason why everybody clicked on this video. You want to see the crash footage. Well, I got some. Unlike many of these videos, I actually do know exactly what happened here and what caused the crash, so I'll take a minute to explain that. A large part of it was due to my state of mind, and surprisingly, I was in a very positive one. It's Veterans Day, and I'm a veteran myself, and so on Veterans Day, what I like to do is to go out to a couple of restaurants that give free meals for veterans and just kind of eat and live it up for a little bit. I had gone to Buffalo Wild Wings a few hours before, so I was in a pretty good mood. And for this ride, I was out going to Red Robin. Basically, I was really happy, and unfortunately, this made me fairly distracted from what I needed to pay attention to. The other huge factor here was the rain. When I had left, it was a sunny day, but by the time I got to the exit where the accident happened, it was pouring rain. Sorry to pause the video real quick, but I'm going to put some anti-video theft stuff up here. I know it's annoying, but people love to steal crash videos, especially Harley crash videos. Another YouTuber gave me this tip. The bots and the content uploader channels really don't like this stuff, so they tend to avoid these videos. Again, sorry, I know it's annoying. Bear with me. And no, Dan Dan the Fireman, you cannot use my video. Sorry. All right, let's get the crash. Everybody's waiting. Crash so hard it sent me back to summer. I'm kidding. The video was corrupt on the camera and I had to use another video to recover it. So that's where that artifact comes from. All right, so let's go over this play by play. What happened here? As you can see, the car in front of me is slowing down, and I really don't like this because it's raining and I really like my following distance. And just on my right here, that truck had slowed down and now that lane is completely open for me. So I wanted to lane change to get into that lane to give myself more following distance. This was a huge mistake. I was focused on the wrong danger here. I was leaned over in a turn and it was wet. And because it had just started raining, all the oils and stuff came up off the road, making everything really, really slick. This is one of the most dangerous situations for a motorcycle to corner in. There was no reason for me to lane change in this turn. I should have been focusing on slowing down instead of trying to get my following distance back. So I added some throttle, took the lane, leaned over, and the rear tire slid out. I foolishly believed a video by MC Ryder that said, motorcycles have 90% grip in the rain. It doesn't matter if it's true, it led to overconfidence. I'd like this video to be a big warning that wet roads are a lot more dangerous than you think they are. So if you're riding on a wet road, be super cautious. Alright, so I'm here up at Emerald City Harley-Davidson where they did the repairs for my bike. Following this, there will be a clip of the paint repair done to the bike. It was repaired by Joel from Same Day Auto Scratch and Dent Repair. He did an amazing job. It looks like it basically never even happened. And yes, there's some new stuff on the bike. Those handlebars are not staying, but I might go over some of this stuff in later videos, especially the tires. I haven't ridden in months and I finally have my bike back, so I want to take the last segment of this video to kind of talk about the mental impact this accident had on me, because while I wasn't really physically injured, I just got a bloody lip. You don't crash your dream motorcycle and walk away completely unscathed, you know? The first and most immediate effect that this crash had is that I developed a bit of PTSD about this. The image of the bike laying there on the freeway, just seeing that that image is kind of burned into the back of my mind now. That image just kept coming back, and it really kind of scared me. It made me really kind of terrified of riding. The accident would just replay in my mind at times as well. It just come back, and I don't know exactly what would trigger it, but it was a very, very harrowing experience to have this come back into my mind over and over. Before the accident, there was basically no fear for me riding motorcycles. Afterwards, now there's this apprehension about it. This lasted kind of only a few months, and it wasn't until I got the bike back that I kind of learned that now I'm pretty apprehensive about cornering. These are brand new tires on the bike, so I'm going to take it out to a parking lot and scrub them in and just continue talking about this. Rain definitely scares the shit out of me now. Like, the thought of riding in the rain is like, I had no fear about this before, especially because I had an ADV tire on the front. But now it's I don't know how to describe it. It almost like a lockdown fear. I'm not sure how to describe it. Thankfully, this is not a particularly intense feeling anymore, but I definitely learned my lesson about riding on wet roads. Another aspect that I guess should be pretty predictable, but there's a lot of guilt because this was my dream motorcycle. It's something I've been working on and building for over 2 years now. It's been a slow project, and I've based so much of like my YouTube channel around it. And then out of nowhere, I almost destroyed the damn thing. There was a point where it seemed like insurance was going to total the bike, and if that was going to happen, I was just going to sell it to the dealership, see if they wanted to take it or something like that, because I didn't know if I necessarily wanted to own the motorcycle anymore. Before returning to the dealership and picking up the bike after repairs, there was a lot of doubt in a way that I don't know if I would get on the bike and be scared of it. I've heard other people's accidents. They talk about how they were in one accident or maybe a second one, and then they're just afraid to ride motorcycles again. Thankfully, within a couple minutes of being back out on the bike, that kind of dissipated, and that confidence that I wanted to ride again just came right back. I was kind of born into the whole motorcycle thing. It's kind of in my blood, I guess, and it's just not going to stop. This accident was really a day of reckoning for me. It was something I needed to understand the fear of riding that I just didn't have before. Like I said, I was born into motorcycles. I just never had a fear about them, and now there's some apprehension there that I think is something that I should have really had. This is pretty important because, at least I think it is, because at times I will take my significant other on the bike, and if I were to be responsible for an accident that hurt them or worse, just that thought would come back every once in a while, and it would sometimes cause me to break down in tears. I couldn't stand if I hurt my significant other because of my riding. I never really considered that riding in the rain would be the thing that got me. I was pretty much kind of a hooligan on the bike. I like to ride fast, and I thought at some point I was going to smack a car, or I was going to low side in a turn, something like that, and that would kind of be the end of it. I'm very lucky it happened where it did. I mean, to walk away from a 50-mile-an-hour crash is kind of amazing. Surprisingly, my airbag vest did not deploy during this, which is really weird. I didn't lose the bike, so I think this is a good thing that it happened. It gave me a lesson that I really needed to learn, and, well, I'm back, and that's what matters. Alright, that's basically everything I wanted to say. I want to thank you guys for watching, and ride safe if you're out there, especially on wet roads. Don't be me. Alright, I will see y'all in the next one.